My M32 wife, F33, of 8 years has reconnected with a male friend from her first years of school and is spending a lot of time with him. My wife has reconnected with an old crush from primary school and spends a lot of time with him, even invited herself regularly to his house. Okay, so this is what happened. A few weeks back my wife reconnected with an old friend from her first years in school. They had like a childish crush for each other. You know, the passing notes thing. That's how it began. This last week she really ramped up contact with him, and they are now writing almost every day, and she can message him constantly in whole morning. I have talked on the phone, and do so for hours. He recently bought a house with a yard, and she talked him into letting her go there and help him renovate and fix the garden. My wife has a problem understanding moderation, hence speeding a whole morning writing messages or a whole evening on the phone. I decided to give it some time, let it fizzle out by itself, but it just seems to keep ramping up. I don't want to ruin her friendship, but I don't enjoy the message she is sending me, nor do I think she understands the message she is sending him and others. She told me she spoke to her mother about their messages and was surprised her mother asked if this is really wise and asked if she hasn't considered how I feel and if I would get jealous. She felt insulted by her mother, like she doesn't understand how she impacts other people. I don't want to ruin her friendship, but I want to talk to her and ask her to start considering the message she sends to her friend, to me and to people around us. How can I do that? And, should I even? I mean, of course I should. It takes two to tango, and in a relationship, one side can't always submit, and another act without impunity. Edit, to be clear, because some people seem to misunderstand, she hasn't been to her house. She just told me she may go there regularly on Saturdays. Update. So, we talked today. Today had been particularly bad. I was in the kitchen making dinner, and she was on the phone. I told her it's dinner time, and she hung up immediately. She came to me really positive about having messaged for 2 hours and spoken on the phone for 4. I didn't validate her positivity. I told her that's salad and that she should be careful about wasting time like that. We had dinner and she told me that if I didn't like her talking that long, I should have told her. I didn't really pursue that line, but changed subject for now. After dinner, I asked about her friend, whether he has any relationships. She said he is single after a breakup. The thing is, I don't think she understands what she is doing to her friend and herself, so I asked if she is sure she isn't sending the wrong messages to him. Of course she went into denial of the impact of her actions, so I kept pushing asking how she knows he won't get the wrong messages, and I specified that just talking this often and that long is in itself sending the wrong message. She asked for specific examples of what she said, but I started doing the dishes, left her to consider what she really wants. So that's where we are now, for good and for worse. Update 2. I brought our evening tea and we sat down and had a real talk. She understands how I feel and I understands how she feels. What we concluded is that it isn't normal to be hours on end on the phone. Even if it's a friend, this will stop. We will fill her day with other things so she doesn't get bored. That's the core reason for why they started talking. She was bored. Also, she assured me he is not interested in her romantically. Thanks for all your advice and encouragement. I will update in a new post if there comes anything new. Now for the comments. I don't want to ruin the friendship. What about ruining your marriage? This guy magically appears back in her life and he becomes the center of her attention. Even her mother sees what the hell is going on. You need to grow a pair and let her know this is not something you're going to tolerate. I agree with you and your mill. Your wife is being completely inconsiderate of your feelings. She seems to not be prioritizing the relationship between you two as much as she should be. This sounds like a boundary issue. You need to address this with her. There's no way to know for certain what either your wife or her friend's intentions are, but you can at least talk to her about the way it is making you feel and see if and how much she is still committed to the life that you two built together. FWIW, their relationship could be completely platonic, but it's weird enough for you to question the stability of your relationship, so it's definitely a problem. Maybe she is just helping out, being friendly, or just glad to get out of the house, but try to emphasize the need for balance in her relationships/activities. Talk to her constructively and hopefully your relationship comes out of this even stronger. Her mother already told her it was inappropriate behavior. All you have to do is reinforce what her mother said. Tell her the over-the-top behavior is inappropriate. It's nice she has a friend, however, the constant contact and time alone at his house makes you uncomfortable. When she puts up the argument, listen and respond that you feel it to be inappropriate behavior. If she wishes to continue, that's fine. But it will be at the cost of damaging your relationship, only because she has failed to consider and actually disregard your opinion. Wow, you have a lot of patience. The first day of all morning messaging would have been it for me. Op is clearly avoidant. Yeah, the update was sort of concerning to me because it sounds like the way he is communicating is passive aggressive. Op, be direct and honest and how you are feeling impacted by the situation. Don't hint that something is wrong or off with the situation and then drop it. Straight out say something like, I'm uncomfortable with how much time and energy you're putting into this relationship. Okay, you're tight. I'll talk to her again. Thing is, I don't like invoking my feelings because of what kind of argument is that? How I feel is my concern. That's actually exactly how you're supposed to be being up an issue with a partner, using I feel when happens statements. Your wife likely cares about how you feel, I hope. It isn't about winning an argument or being wrong or right. It's about opening up about how her behavior impacts how you feel, which then usually makes your partner more receptive to the feedback rather than defensive. She's more likely to respond well to the idea of you being hurt rather than being told she's doing something wrong or bad. But aren't your feelings sort of central to this? Some partners are fine with whatever shade of non-monogamy, but if you're not and have never been, yeah, your feelings she is disregarding matter. Jesus Christ, you better change this mindset or you will eventually lose your wife. If your wife can't understand moderation, then she needs to remove temptation. If she can't have a normal, healthy friendship with this guy, then she needs to respect your marriage and stop inviting an emotional affair with a prior crush. Lots and lots of red flags here. She may go there regularly on Saturdays. Wake up, this is going to end bad. You obviously feel uncomfortable and she doesn't seem to acknowledge that she's starting to cross lines and don't even budge in when she starts to accuse you of controlling her. She knows it's inappropriate, judging her reaction to her mother. Talk to her and try to flip sides. This might work. Good luck. Update comment. Do not beat around the bush. She just told you, if you have a problem with her talking to this guy for hours, to tell her. You are not letting her think about anything. BC, you have not told her how you feel about it. Quit trying to be Mr. Tippy Toes and tell her this is inappropriate, period. You should want to ruin that friendship. It's a direct threat to your relationship security. Just call her out on this bullshit. It's not okay. And if you're honestly worried that if you push her not to see another man so often that she's gonna leave you for him or something, then you're fucked already. Just tell her her friendship with this guy is not okay with you and get her to commit to ending it, or your marriage is not going to be okay. If her mother had to say something, it may well be that she knows it's gone beyond an emotional affair. Get your ducks in a row. Time to face some pretty hard realities. So sorry you're going through this. PS. Get a lawyer. JFC. My mom and I are close, and she still has no idea how my relationship works and still insists on butting in when she feels concerned about behavior that is a total non-issue in my relationship. Parents don't know everything about their kids, even the ones that have a solid rapport. Get a lawyer for one issue that they have barely talked about. How about get a grip? Every minute she spends working on and growing that friendship is time you could be spending putting energy into each other. I would ask her quite honestly if that's something she has considered. The old water your own garden first saying comes to mind. It sounds like you're being overly considerate. Communicate and make it clear it makes you uncomfortable. The fact her mother thinks it inappropriate should give you some courage, because your feelings are not invalid. Personally, we are okay with opposite sex friendships, but they have come along naturally due to our kids being friends with etc, and more often than not the person is both our friends. The type of friendship your wife is growing with this person is not something either of us would actively seek out. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button and activate the notification bell for more videos. Also like the video If you enjoy it,